Did they announce you got Teddy Lehutu or Mr. Ngomezulu? What's she? Hello? Who's winning? Is all. Okay, yeah. We all are very, very sorry about the latest turn of events. Yeah? Manje, we can't continue until you decide what should happen to your defense.
Asibazi ukuqhubeka uze kufikele lapho wena oshoyo ukuthi ufuna kwenzekeni ngokuvikela kwakho ngokomthetho.
You have a choice which you must exercise. I won't influence you, can't tell you what to do, but you have a right either to defend yourself or to appoint another defense counsel.
Angeke ngikwazi ukutshela ukuthi wenzeni wena ufanele uzikhethele ukuthi wenzani mhlawumbe ke uzobe ukhetha ukuthi uyofuna omunye ummeli.
But because I know that you, or at least your previous lawyer, Mr. Ngomezulu, had said your uncle was financing your defense, is that not so?
Well, yes, ukuthi kusho ummeli wakho lo ngasekho ukuthi umalume wakho uyena okukhokhelayo akunjalo. That is so, madam.
Yeah, so it would be proper that you must get in touch with your uncle and discuss this issue of your defense with him.
Uzofanele ukuthi ukhulume nomalume wakho ukuthi nixoxisane ngalesi simo lesi sokumelwa kwakho la enkantolo.
Okay. So how long are you going to need to do that?
Manje uzodinga isikhathi esingakanani ukuthi ukwazi ukuxoxisana nomalume wakho?
Kodwa umalume vele besekhaya kuyimali ukuthi iyamfindezela le-doctor.
I wouldn't know, but then also there's the issue that my uncle was already complaining that his support, his financial support is already very heavy on him.
Yeah, your colleagues, not your colleagues, Ms. Mchololo here told us in chambers that the Legal Aid Board is prepared to finance you if you lodge an application before Friday, because they are closing on Friday, and in the meantime they can process your application if you so decide.
Manje ke ummeli umshololo uthe yena abakwa Legal Aid bazimisela ukuthi bangakuxhasa, kodwa ke ufanele ufake leso sicelo ungakafiki uLwesihlanu ngoba bayavala ngoLwesihlanu. Manje kufanele udonse amasokisi ukuthi ufake leso sicelo sokuthi bakuxhasa abakwa Legal Aid.
Yeah.
Are they closing on this very Friday?
Yes, they are closing for Christmas, whatever they call it.
Bazovala ukhisimusi ngayo lesihlanu siyakuyena kulo leli viki.
Okay. So I don't know whether we should adjourn up to 11 o'clock. You must try and phone your relatives or parents or umalume wako, and then maybe you can come to some decision. If you haven't come to a decision, you'll let us know. Is it okay?
Asimise lana enkantolo uzokufika u11 ukuthi wena uthintane nabomndeni wakho bese ubuya ke nokuthi ke nikhulumisane kanjani kuzolunga kanjani. It will be fine, my lord.
Any suggestions from Mr. Baloyi?
Well, my lord, firstly, on behalf of the state and my colleagues, we wish to express our heartfelt condolences to the Ngomezulu family, especially his wife, Sis Dumi, and the children, and we wish them well in this difficult time. We are in support of the suggestion that we should stand down until 11 so that accused number 1 can have the opportunity to contact his uncle My colleague, Advocate Mshololo, indicated that she needs to go and support the family at 11. I think someone else can stand in for him if that is the position.
Yeah, fine.
Yes.
Mr. Ramasipili.
As the court pleases, my lord, I echo Advocate Baloi's sentiments regarding the passing of Mr. Mngomezulu. My lord, with regard to this aspect of legal representation for accused number 1, I do support the notion that we should adjourn until 11 so that accused number 1 can make the necessary calls and inform us, and then we'll take it from there, my lord, as the court pleases.
Yes, Mr. Mason.
I confirm that arrangement. Thank you, my lord. I confirm the arrangement. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Lord. Okay, so we shall return at 11. Okay?
Can I also ask that I be excused because I need
Oh, yeah,
to go
by the
to
way, yeah, fine, no
Ngomezulu.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay, 11 o'clock.
What the situation is. I know there were some legal aid South Africa indicated that there could be challenges should accused number 1 want to apply for legal aid. I'm not sure if those are the issues that are being resolved at the moment. Maybe my colleagues
Mr. Ramasipili,
can expand.
this is your former client.
As the court pleases, my lord, I'd suggest that although they had indicated previously that there may be challenges, this is a state institution that is right in terms of the Constitution. They can't deny him that, my lord. So what Advocate Munisi was doing now, he was busy with legal aid on the phone, so I'm not privy because the court came in whilst he was busy on the call, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Munisi, what's Gibbs?
As it please the court, my lord, we had a discussion with Mr. Sibia. He's raising questions that we ourselves are unable to answer on behalf of legal aid. So then there was a universal suggestion that we probably should request somebody from legal aid to come and explain out the process to him and afford him the opportunity to raise those questions to the guys from legal aid. For instance, because he's amongst others asking a question as to whether would legal aid be in a position to fund a person that he himself would identify. So I'm
That he
not
will-
in a position.
He will identify.
Yes, if, for instance, he says, no, I feel comfortable if I may be represented by Mr. Y. And now we've tried to explain, but our information with regard to that explanation is a bit limited, my lord. So we then suggested that we should rather get somebody from legal aid to come and take him through the process. If he has got questions, then he asks those questions to enable him to go and digest this information and discuss it with his family to make an informed decision as to whether or not they would still want to be represented, him to be represented by legal aid, or they will continue engaging the services of a private counsel. So we're in a process of trying to talk to legal aid. I was in line with Mr. Mujuto when the court came in. So we haven't as yet finalized our conversation.
Is available.
Excuse me, my lord.
Mr. Mojuta is available.
We haven't yet finalized our conversation because we had it in mind that probably if there's somebody that they can send as of now to engage with Mr. Sbia, I think it will be a good idea, my lord. So we would then probably request some further time, my lord. Probably as soon as we are done with the process, then we'll let the court know. I'm not so sure whether there's somebody who is in a hurry to leave.
To what?
Another challenge, my lord, is that he is not in a position to contact his family now because he says his booklet where the numbers of his family are inscribed
Is what?
are at Morabi. The booklet that contains the phone numbers of his people, of his family, that he needs to talk to assist him to make a decision with regard to his legal representation is at Morabi, where he to make a decision. I'm not so sure whether we should then meet tomorrow for him to specifically indicate to court that what his option is, and then if he engages legal aid, then we request legal aid to come and consult him and start to do the paperwork or what, my lord.
Why don't we talk to Mr. Mujuta and say, I say you must come here.
As it pleases the court, my lord. I think that will
You
be,
must come here.
yeah, I think that will
Okay,
be
you'll tell me
prudent.
when he's around.
As it pleases the court.
Guys, since they are on break and waiting to solve out some problems, and we just feel like we can come and have a conversation concerning this murder case of SENZO MEYIWA. So while we're still waiting for the court to resume, we feel that it's going to be a good idea for us to at least have a conversation and talk a little bit and try to comment also about what we've been seeing inside the court so far, and so that we can try to understand certain things. And once they come back inside the court, we'll make sure that we go through the court so that we can get to hear what will be the final decision. But before we get to engage ourselves in a deep conversation concerning this drama that we are seeing inside the court in Pretoria, first of all, you guys allow me to welcome you all to Coolbuzz TV. Welcome back to another video. And this is a special auditions concerning the SENZO MEYIWA murder trial. So as you can see that we are just trying to comment, okay? So we are encouraging you to also feel free to drop us your comment in the comment section. Tell us what is in your mind. Tell us also what you think about what is happening so far in Pretoria as we are talking right now. Well, you all saw it yesterday, how it was a breaking news in South Africa, and it was all trending all over social media for the announcement of the death of the accused number one in SENZO MEYIWA murder case. This advocate died. Of course, it's been for some times he was not showing up again inside the court. He was always absent here and there, and we could not understand what was going on. Of course, he had to send a letter to the court to tell the court on how he was not feeling well. But his death seemed to bring or to raise a lot of rumors through the social medias. You know, people get to comment, because remember, in this case of SENZO MEYIWA, he's not the first person who died. He's not the first person whom people are looking forward to see on how they can reveal or show the dark side of the real kill of SENZO MEYIWA. He's not the first person who died. We have seen a couple of people who died as well. And we are all aware that this case of SENZO MEYIWA, it had become as if like a sensitive matter, which even before someone get involved through it, they have to think twice. They have to think about their loved ones. They have to think about their wife and their children. And it's being said out there that people who killed SENZO, there are people who are very powerful, and these people, they are willing to do anything in order for them to protect their dignity, in order for them to protect their personality. Therefore, whoever tries to stand on their way, this person will have to find them. So with all these things being said out there, of course, that includes also the cancellation of Keliku Malonet not appearing inside the court, according to the state advocate, George Baloyi, who had said that Kelly Kumalo, they won't be calling her anymore. So all these things, it had put or raised a lot of questions in the mind of South Africans who have to question themselves, who had to ask themselves serious questions to know what are these people trying to hide from all this, because Senzo MEYIWA did not die today. This case should have taken time, should have taken place long time ago. We are talking about 10 years now since Senzo MEYIWA was killed. And now that this case, they decided to start it up, all we see is drama after drama. Today, this one saying that, tomorrow it is another person who did that. So it is all kind of like complicating. But yesterday, after we were all announced about the death of the accused number one, we then saw today inside the court, of course, because we were all looking forward to see what next. Now that one of the accused, they have lost their advocates, what will happen? And for those who've been watching us from the beginning, we also how the judge had to come and give an opportunity to the accused number one, so that he can get to choose another advocate, because that is his legal right to do so. Or if he wants, is free to represent himself. But here there's something which I caught or I noticed in the words of judge. The way he was sounding at first, you could tell that he's fed up with this case. Because first of all, he was complaining already about the advocate who just died. He was complaining about his absence. Yesterday we saw inside the court, he was talking about it. He was talking about it on how this advocate has been absent inside the court, is not showing up, blah, 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 blah. For him, he believed maybe the advocate was busy somewhere else with some other different cases. He even went far by saying that no, according to his sources, he found out that no, the advocate, he was in the same building as he was yesterday. So you could see that the judge was already tired and he's been complaining about the absence of the advocates of the defense advocate of the accused number one. Now that they announced to him that the man is no more alive, of course, the judge is showing that he's not that patient or willing to wait in order for the accused number one to find the proper legal representative who can represent him in this case, because whether we like it or not, it is his life which is put online. Whether he's innocent or not, but he still have the right to defend himself. So therefore, whenever he's choosing his lawyers, that should be his choice and should not be a choice which someone have to impose him. Because remember, in this case, all the accused, besides Zandile Msholoji, Zandile, I don't think there is another lawyers who were there before when this court first started. So all these other lawyers, they are people which came after, because the accused, they have to make their own choice by choosing their lawyers that they feel like they can trust. So now that one of them is no longer having his legal representative, of course, it's supposed to be given another chance for him to pick up someone else that he feels like he can trust. And that's what we're seeing in this case here. Now, the judge is asking this accused to either represent themselves or for them to find someone. But the way now he put it to him, it was in the way of telling him that we don't have time. In whatever you are deciding to do, you need to do it quick. I mean, you need to do it quick, as soon as possible, so that we can move forward. Now, the court was adjourned for about 25 minutes in order for them to try to at least submit some applications, since the court have said that if the accused number one can't be able to afford the lawyer, then they can find him, or the state, they can provide him with one. But that one advocate should be someone that he may trust fully. Okay, fine. When they come back, apparently in the chamber, they end up having a serious conflict over there between the accused number one and this other defense advocate, who were kind of like trying to guide him or advising him on how to make his own decision. So they end up realizing that no, there's quite a lot which is going on from his side, that he seek a proper legal advice on how these kind of matters are being handled. Now, judge have to call for a certain person who can come to court in order for them to explain to accused number one on how things need to be done. But in all this, my take is that people will seem to forget so quick that while we're all still waiting for justice to take place in this SENZO MEYIWA murder case, there are family out there who still mourning their loved ones, their father, son, brother, uncle, nephew. There are family out there who are still hurt. And some of them, they will even tell you that they're still having sleepless nights, because every time if they try to close their eyes, they are seeing SENZO. When all this drama is taking place inside the court in Pretoria, some other people, they have not regained their normal life. Why? Because they still believe that I'll be able to regain my activities, my normal activities, the day at least I would know the name of the person who had killed our brother, our son, our uncle, our nephew. And as long this have not taken place, this is going to be a serious challenge for us. So, with this being said, this is something that, whether it is the court or everyone who are involved in this case, sometimes they get to forget. At the same time, don't forget that SENZO MEYIWA was a public figure. SENZO MEYIWA represents South Africa in many different competitions. And for that reason, I believe South Africans deserve to know what happened to SENZO MEYIWA. And it is for that reason, you guys, you see, whatever takes place in court or outside the court, as long as it has something to do with SENZO MEYIWA name, it has to go viral on social media, because people, they want to know the truth. But at the same time, they are stuck. Why? Because things are not going that fast as we were expecting. Now, remember, when Tefo Malisela was removed out, his colleague took over the case, isn't it? After that, we saw how all the accused, they chased him away. And they had to go and find their own lawyers. As these lawyers, they were coming in one by one, all of them, they asked enough time from the court saying that no, they need to get to know or they need to get familiar with the case. So which means they will have to collect all the dockets of this case, go sit down, read them paragraph by paragraph, understand whatever is going on in there, memorize everything before they come back and start giving the agreements inside the court. And whenever they ask these kind of things, it will always take times. That's why you see this court, it will be postponed for 3 months, 4 months, 2 months. Why? Because these defense advocates, they want to go and also get to know what am I going to defend over there in court. And according to the constitutions, it is also their right. They can't stand and say that we are going to represent or defend these individuals when they are not even aware or they are not familiar with the case. Now, this is what has been happening inside that court, and we all know that. But now that the accused number one have lost their advocates, if they have to choose a new advocate, what is it that going to happen? Is this advocate going to just continue and start questioning Brigadier Kadinda, or is he going to say that, okay, my lord, I need also some times in order for me to get familiar of this case? So that is the sad part of this case. And if everything could have gone very well, who knows, maybe by next year around this time, this case was going to be over. But now that someone disappeared in the way that his death is still in a very shocking way, where people, they don't even know what happened. Some, they are assuming that no, it's because he did 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe because he said 1, 2, 3, 4. That left us with one question in mind: how many more people will have to die concerning this case of Robert SENZO MEYIWA? How many people will have to die in this case before we get or to hear the final judgment? Because it seems like people will keep on dying. The longer this case or this trial takes, the more people will die, like one by one. And the real cause of their death, well, we don't want to comment much, but we can all suspect or guess, because something is not sitting up. Well, something's not adding up in whatever has been happening inside that court. SENZO died. His father ended up dying. As I always tell you every time, that the death of SENZO MEYIWA's father is not like something that he wanted to die. No, I don't think so. I think that old man, he was just at the point of whereby he was too much stressing over the death of his son. He was just thinking too much of like, okay, now that my son is no more alive, how can I survive all this pain? Because keep in mind that SENZO MEYIWA, he was a breadwinner in his family. maybe he was the one who was looking after his father. Now, imagine losing a grandson like that. We can all imagine the pain and sorrow which his family they were going through. And that is not over. Because after Senzo Meyiwa's father died, don't forget that behind him, he left his wife, who's the mother to Senzo Meyiwa. Can you guys have an idea how is she feeling? For the fact of knowing that I lost my own son, and I also lost my husband due to that. Can you guys just try to imagine the kind of pain she's feeling? On the documentary which they show recently on the local channels or news channels, you guys, you heard on how the brother to Senzo Meyiwa was saying that the mother, she's been now suffering, she's been healed. She's now sick like here and then, every time she's very sick. Who knows the reality or the truth? The truth to a sickness is all because of what's been going on. Now, is it going to be a good idea for her to die before even the court get to give the final judgment on what has been happening in Pretoria High Magistrate Court? That are just the questions which I believe me and you we need to ask each other, because we are all human, and I think it's gonna be a good idea if we try to put ourselves in the issues of Senzo Meyiwa family. What if at the end of the day they end up telling you that no, people that you guys have been watching on your screen inside the court, they had nothing to do with Senzo Meyiwa and all this. But let's just assume if they are found guilty, don't forget that there will be another case which will have to be opened, because now they get to identify the person who killed Senzo Meyiwa. So now the second case now it will be for them to give or explain to the people of South Africa why did they kill Senzo Meyiwa. Because right now they're just trying to identify the person who killed Senzo Meyiwa. Let us not forget that. That's why you guys saw there's a lot of dramas which is being said around, whereby some will come and say that no, what happened to the second docket? South Africa is a movie, guys, I'm telling you. A docket, you guys still remember that docket, the way it disappeared? The docket that Tefo Malisela used to talk about, that it had the names of the people who were in that house when Senzo Meyiwa was killed. How come none of these people is not inside the court? So the truth to all this, it will come out soon or later. But the problem is just that, what if it comes out when it's too late? Maybe some of these people, they are no longer alive. I remember in 2018, I made a video talking about the same matter. I gave you guys an example. I said, when Senzo died, he left his daughter, the one with Kelly Kumalo. How old was she? Today, I'm referring to 2018. How old is she? Now, today we're no longer in 2018. We're in 2024. Let's say 2025, because the year it is around the corner. That girl, anytime soon, you guys will hear that she got married, or maybe she became a mother with a drama, which she will have to tell people that no, when my dad was killed, I was this age, but yet the justice is not being served out there. The kind of drama we're dealing with in this case of SENZO MEYIWA trial. For how long will this drama have to last? And for how long this kind of things actually will keep continuing happening? Should we maybe reach to the point of, before we take a lawyer or anyone who have to have something to do with this case, they should be able to text them. They must test them first and see if they are sick or not, because now it's now happening that whoever died, they will be telling you that no, they were sick. But the sickness which they were sick, they can't disclose it with us. So, which means one person can wake up and go and poison another person, maybe with a certain kind of chemicals. And tomorrow, once that person died, they'll come and tell you that no, they were sick all along. Such a surprise, such full drama in this case of Robert SENZO MEYIWA. But we shall wait and see how things will go. And again, as I said, since we're still waiting to hear from the court, stay tuned for more details to come. From our side, we thought and judged that it was a good idea. We can come here and try to have this debate with you, like try to discuss a little bit and give you guys also our point of view after summarizing everything that's been happening inside the court. So let us wait and see what the court they're planning to do concerning the accused number one, new advocates, because apparently the guy is not even in touch with his family, because this kind of decision sometimes you can't take it on your own. You need to talk with your family. They need to come also and give you also their advice. And another thing, guys, you know very well that whenever people that are taking their lawyers, it's because they can't trust or rely on the state lawyers. State lawyers, they have a full salary. Whether they work or not, they're still gonna get their salaries. And sometimes they just want to pass the case like this. They can even make you lose the case because they don't care. You're not the one who pays them. So that's the reason why most of people, they usually prefer to have their own lawyers, whereby the lawyer will give them their price, charge them, and then they'll go ahead and allow them to represent them. But in the case of this case, guys, I only wonder what will happen next, but we shall wait and see. And I believe we'll be back again with more details in our next videos when we will talk about it. But for now, I think we need to leave you for a second so that we can get busy with something else. So guys, ciao ciao.